What is up, AGZ gang? Now in today's video, we're going to be discussing about the future of anime games and what it has in store for us, the good, the bad, the positive, the negative. So yeah, after the intro, we're going to get straight into it. Now guys, I feel like there is a lot to talk about in terms of anime games right now and the future trajectory of where it might be in the next couple of years. Now, GPO, I'm not going to lie to you, as much as a lot of people don't like the game, a lot of people say the game is boring, it doesn't have content, etc. GPO literally changed, like, it made history. GPO made history. And I know you're like, revolveragz, you're giving GPO too much credit, you eat Phoeyu's balls. It's really nothing like that. Like, GPO is changing and shaping the way future anime games are going to be made, and in terms of mechanics, in terms of looks, in terms of gameplay. Now, it's good that GPO was the first, it's like the foundation. GPO's like the foundation of this, is the core, it's revolutionary in a way, right? So GPO is here. In fact, let's get up like a little, let's go and paint. Cool. So this is GPO, right? Let's say GPO. Now I know this is very unprofessional, but I don't have the resources to make some sort of digital graph charts, right? This is GPO, and let's say this is game 1, game 2, and game 3. So I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3. Now GPO, a lot of these games, all right, so let's say game 1, let's call it Slayers Unleashed, all right, or let's just call it a game, right? Now, what game 1 tends to do, and what game 1 does wrong, is it takes GPO's ideas, it takes GPO's foundation and bases the whole foundation around GPO's ideas. The whole foundation. What game 2 does is it takes GPO's foundation and doesn't exactly copy it. It takes bits and pieces of it, applies it into its game, and that can go 50-50, right? It can either it takes GPO's ideas and implements it in the wrong way, or takes GPO's ideas and implements the bad things about GPO and the good things about GPO, but it's too similar to GPO. It has its own identity. Game 2 has its own identity, but it has too much of GPO's influence in it. And then you have game 3, right? Now game 3 does everything right. It uses GPO as inspiration, and it doesn't take away from it. So let's say maybe it has similar animations, right? It'll take 1 or 2 things from GPO, but then it'll take games, not only games on Roblox, its own ideas. It'll take games on Roblox, it'll take its own ideas and games outside of Roblox, and implement that into its game. And game 3 is going to be the successful game. So I know I'm using GPO as a baseline, which can be seen as kind of, D-sucky, but I'm giving an example here. My thing is, GPO is probably the best way to look at what the future of anime gaming is going to be. There's going to be good combat, there's going to be progression systems, there's going to be things to do, etc. Now, you have games, I'm gonna throw some games under the bus here. Now, you have games like Slayers Unleashed.
They're reusing GPO assets, and then these niggas like they turned Demon Slayer into a straight bandit beater, bro. I didn't see the Mizunoto and Mizunoe rank. Now one place in the game. It's probably in the game. I don't even fucking know. If it's not, then it's not. Like, this isn't even Demon Slayer. You cannot call this game Demon Slayer. You don't even breathe in this game. You just press a key and then it automatically does your fucking thing. And keep in mind, they have a stat GUI, right? It's a Demon Slayer game. You really think niggas are gonna level up their fucking fist? Why would you put that as an option? The fist option is literally to waste your time so that you can farm these low-level bandits as a low level, and when you buy your katana, you'll do less damage. Like, what the like this is what I mean about these bandit beats
that have the right idea but execute it all wrong. Because, all right, I don't even know, would we call it the right idea? It has a glimmer of hope, but does everything wrong. So I'm going to be taking clips from Cap Casino, Sly Cargate, etc. You're going to be seeing on the screen. So in this game, everything, it's meant to be a Demon Slayer game, but everything is wrong. Demons can walk around in the daytime. You're able to kill demons with your fist. Like, there's not much to do in the game. And you can say, oh, it's just the open stress test, it's an open beta. If your game is as a game developer, if your game is to the point where you're ready to show it off to the public, whether it's a stress test, a beta, alpha, whatever you want to call it, quote unquote, right? It should be finished enough to be presentable to the public. Slayers Unleashed is not presentable. I'm so sorry, the game is not presentable. Is it, like, there's no way you as a developer feels content with publishing that game to the public. And with this said stress test or whatever it's meant to be, right? There's so many microtransactions. Why is there a bunch of microtransactions in a stress test or public test or public beta? It makes zero sense. But the game has 7K players. Roblox, I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of Roblox gamers don't know what a good game is, okay? Just because the game looks nice visually and somewhat has a combat system that looks visually appealing doesn't mean the game is good. The gameplay is non-existent. What, because they open the doors? Opening doors looks cool? You think the game is good? That doesn't make sense. The game is a clear cash grab. Nothing about that game is good. I'm so sorry. You have some cool looking animations with the swords and your breathing styles. I'm pretty sure I heard you have to pay for breathing styles. You have to pay to change your race. Everything about the game you have to pay for. Like, it makes no sense. Like, since when do you have to pay for breathing styles in a Demon Slayer game? I saw the demons running away when they get low health. When have you ever seen a demon? Nothing about the gameplay is good. I'm so sorry. I know I'm gonna get a lot of people mad with that, but I don't know why you guys think that's a good game. Like, how is that a good game? I'm so sorry. And then you have other games like the one we covered a couple days ago that some people were getting at me for calling the game bad. What about this game? Again, people are saying it's a stress test, the game isn't complete. If you as a developer feels comfortable with releasing unfinished products to the public, why are you making a game? You're making a game for the wrong reason. You're looking for quick microtransactions to fund the game. It makes no sense. Finish the game, or at least get the game to a playable state before you release it to the public for a stress test or beta, etc. It makes no sense. It makes zero sense. So, developers, you have the group of developers that are in it for the money and want the quick bang for the buck, and that is the future of anime games. You're gonna have that group of developers, but there are always going to be the developers that want to create good anime inspired games, that actually take time to work on their games. And as much as we complain about developers keeping games a secret or keeping it locked in the basement without feeding it, sometimes it's a good thing because we don't get too much information about the game. We get a gameplay snippet and we get hyped for the game. It's like, okay, now people get hyped. You have the group of players that get hyped for the game and the group of players that see the game. It's like, it's probably gonna be another letdown. And for some reason, a lot of people always are negative, have a negative connotation around games when they look good, for a reasonable reason. Games like Slayers Unleashed, but I don't feel like that's the right attitude to have. If the game comes out and then it is trash, then you could give your opinion. But if we're seeing a snippet, the snippet looks good, there's no reason to hold back. But again, a lot of anime games are taking the GPO formula, and as long as it's done right, it's not a bad thing. What the issue I have with games completely copying and pasting GPO's format is GPO's combat is good, the animations are good, the game looks good, but there's a bunch of flaws in GPO's combat that we have been complaining about since update 3, and developers obviously aren't in tune with the community. They just see the game doing good, so they don't know the setbacks or the flaws with said systems, implement them into their game, and people are just like, yo bro, like this is just like the other game. You didn't, like, you feel what I'm saying? So developers need to, you know, say you can take ideas, you can take inspiration from, but don't copy and paste. Copying and pasting is not good, and the community will notice if a game is completely copied and pasted. So it's not the best idea to do so. Anyways, that's enough of my little rant. I just feel like I needed to talk on this subject. Slayers Unleashed is a bad game. I'm so sorry. What's the name of that game? That's a bad game. I'm so sorry. And there's a bunch of other bad games that I can't remember off the top of my head. But there are a bunch of good games coming. We know this. Deepwoken Anime Legends, and a bunch of other games that I don't know the name of, but I can post little screenshots of them if I find the screenshots. Hopefully we see these games in the near future. Hopefully we get these games sometime this year, because all these games were set to release summer, and summer is almost finished. So GG.